Okay, this is going to walk you through 5A using the zero method. So the zero method can be found on page 3 in your booklet. So just a reminder about the zero method, before you can enter it into the calculator, you've got to put it in standard form. So I'm going to show you the work down here for that first, before I type it into the calculator. I'm going to move everything over to the left. It actually doesn't matter if you wanted to move things to the right instead, as long as they're only on one side of the equal sign. And I'm going to move things one at a time so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, this doesn't have a like term, so I'm just going to write it over here. I'm left with 4 equals x squared minus 6 minus 3/4 x. Now I'm going to move my 4. And this has a like term, so I'm going to line it up under there. I've got 0 equals x squared minus 10 minus 3/4 x. Now here's the thing. That's not technically standard form, but I really just want everything on the right-hand side of my equal sign, or at least on one side of the equal sign together. So I'm just going to enter this. I don't need to switch these. It actually is going to graph the same exact way. So I'm going to enter the equation x squared minus 10 minus, and for the division, or for a fraction, I'm going to use the division key, 3 divided by 4x. So here's what my equation looks like when I enter it. So that looks a lot different than my original equation here, 3/4 x plus 4 equals x squared minus 6. Okay, so let's come back up here where we're going to write the answer. And again, this is the zero method. I'm going to look at my graph, and I can see that I'm crossing my x-intercept in 2 spots. So I know I have 2 solutions. I'm going to look at the table to see if I can find it there first. And with this method, I'm looking for where y1 equals 0. And you can see there it's definitely not happening. So I can't do that. So instead, I'm going to use the method described on the bottom of page 3. So I'm going to walk through the steps. You first press second and trace. And I'm going to press number 2 for 0. Now, I'm being asked left bound, right bound. The calculator wants me to give it a limited amount of space to look at so that it can just name one solution. So first I'm just going to say, look between here and here and tell me the place it's crossing the x-axis just in that area. So for my left bound, I'm going to put something like -5. You can choose a different number as long as it's to the left. I'm going to get this solution first. I press enter. And then I want a number to the right. Now be careful, because you don't want a number right of this one, because that's just going to confuse it. We just want it to look between here and here. So I'm going to press 0 and then enter. And you can see from these arrows right here, that's the range that the calculator is going to look between. So from here, I'm going to press enter. So here's one of my solutions, -2.809435. And when I write it, I'm rounding to the hundredths. So that's the 0. But because there's a 9 next to it, it's going to round it up to a 1. So 2.81. All right, that's the first one. Now, on the bottom of page 3, it says if there's another x-intercept, you have to repeat this process. So I'm going to press second and trace and go back to my 0 function. This time, I'm going to give it a different range to look at. I'm going to tell it to look between here and here, because now I want that x-intercept. So my left bound this time, I'm going to say 0. And my right bound, I'm going to say a number to the right over here, maybe something like 5. So it's saying, okay, you want me to look between here and here and give you that x-intercept? And I say yes, I press enter. And here is my other solution, 3.5. And again, because of rounding, the number next to it is larger than 5, or 5 or higher, so it's going to round this 5 up to 6. So this is going to be 3.56. Just a reminder, these are the x values that we're looking for. We don't care about this y value. We're not solving for y. We are only solving for x. So those are your solutions.